Okay, what is the one skill that can take your writing from just okay to, truly persuasive? It's not just about making your own point. It's about mastering the art of the counterargument.
So let's just dive right in with a question. Have you ever been writing an essay and thought, if I just ignore the other side, my own point will seem way stronger? Yeah, it's a super common way to think. Well, I'm here to tell you that in the world of powerful, persuasive writing, that instinct, it's a total trap. And we're going to take that myth apart right now.
It might feel a little weird at first, but facing the opposition head-on isn't a sign of weakness at all. Actually, it's one of the biggest power moves you can make in your writing.
So, first things first, let's make sure we're all on the same page. What even is a counterargument? It's really simple. It's the other side of the story. It's the, yeah, but what about, that might pop into your reader's head while they're reading your piece.
So why is this such a game changer? Well, because when you address a counterargument, you're basically telling your reader, hey, I've done my homework. I've thought about this from all angles. It makes you look credible and fair. And here's the best part. It actually strengthens your own position because you're tackling objections before your reader even has a chance to think of them.
Okay, so hopefully you're sold on the why. But what about the how? How do you actually do this without accidentally making your own essay weaker? It all comes down to a really simple three-step framework. Let's walk through it.
It all boils down to these three words: acknowledge, concede, and refute. Seriously, that's it. Think of it like a three-step dance. Once you get the rhythm down, you can use it for any topic under the sun.
All right, step one is to acknowledge. This means you have to state the opposing view clearly and, this is super important, fairly. The goal here isn't to make their argument sound ridiculous just so you can easily knock it down. You have to engage with their actual point respectfully.
And you can make this super smooth with some simple signal phrases. Things like, critics might say that, or some people argue that. These are perfect little signposts that guide your reader into the counterargument.
Now, move number two is technically optional, but wow, is it effective. This is where you concede. You find one little piece of their argument that you can actually agree with. Admitting their point has some validity makes you sound so reasonable, and it builds a ton of trust with your reader.
For example, you could say something just like this. See, you're not giving up your whole argument. You're just tipping your hat to a specific, valid point they have. And that fairness makes your reader much more willing to hear what you're going to say next.
Which brings us to the final and most crucial move, refute. After you've acknowledged their point and maybe conceded a small part of it, you have to pivot back. You have to explain why your argument is still stronger or show how the other side's view is limited or overlooks something important.
This is your big pivot point. It's the moment you steer the conversation back to your side. And your best friends here are transition words. Words like however, yet, or a phrase like while this may be true. They're like turn signals for your reader, showing them you're shifting back to your main point to prove why it's better.
So, you've got the three moves down. Awesome. Now the next question is, where in the world do you put this thing in your essay? You've actually got a few strategic options.
The good news is you have some flexibility. You could weave it into a body paragraph, you could give it its own dedicated paragraph, or if you're feeling ambitious, you could even frame your entire introduction around it. There's no one right answer, it's all about what feels right for the flow of your paper.
Okay, before you run off and start writing, let's quickly cover a few common mistakes. Because if you get these wrong, you can turn this really powerful strategy into a major weakness.
First up, whatever you do, do not make the other side sound stupid. Using loaded words like foolishly just makes you sound biased and will totally turn off your reader. Just be respectful and neutral.
Second, and this is a big one, don't just state the counterargument and then walk away. You absolutely have to refute it. Just saying, hey, some people think this, other people think that, well, that's not an argument. Your job is to show why your side has the edge.
And finally, you got to avoid what's called the straw man fallacy. This is where you invent a really exaggerated, easy-to-defeat version of your opponent's argument. Don't do that. Engage with their strongest point. Beating a caricature doesn't prove anything about your own argument's strength.
Okay, so let's put it all together. Before you turn in your next essay, just run through this quick checklist. Ask yourself, did I bring up another viewpoint? Did I represent it fairly? And most importantly, did I explain why my position is still the stronger one? Making sure you can check all these boxes is going to make your essay so much better.
Let's end on this thought right here.
Engaging with ideas that challenge you, that's not just a clever writing trick. It's a sign of real intellectual maturity and confidence. It shows you're not afraid of a good debate. So the only question left is, what argument are you going to go out and strengthen next?